What if the historical facts you learned in class were incorrect? Historians spend their entire careers trying to uncover and interpret our past, but behind every widely accepted fact, there's often information that gets overlooked or obscured. Today, we are looking at 10 history facts that most people get wrong. Many people are taught that Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas in 1492. However, this idea overlooks the fact that indigenous peoples had been living there for thousands of years before he arrived. While Columbus's voyages did begin a period of ongoing European exploration and colonization in the Western Hemisphere, he never actually set foot on what is now the mainland United States. That honor goes to Viking explorer Leif Erikson, who reached what is now Newfoundland, Canada, about 500 years before Columbus's famous journey. Erikson's expedition shows that the Americas were already known and inhabited long before European discovery. Although Cleopatra VII is famous as the Queen of the Nile, she had little to no Egyptian ancestry. She was born in 69 BCE, and her family came from Macedonian Greece, descended from Ptolemy I Soter, a general of Alexander the Great. Even though Cleopatra adopted many Egyptian customs and learned the language, her Macedonian Greek background made her different from the people she ruled. This challenges the common idea of Cleopatra as a purely Egyptian queen, showing the complex mix of cultures in the ancient Mediterranean world. Many people believe that medieval Europeans thought the Earth was flat, but the idea of a round Earth had been accepted since ancient times. As early as the 6th century BCE, Greek philosophers like Pythagoras and Aristotle proposed that the Earth was round, and medieval scholars also accepted this idea. The false belief that people in the Middle Ages were ignorant about the Earth's shape likely came from 19th century writers who wanted to criticize the medieval church. In reality, most educated people during that time knew the Earth was spherical. The famous phrase, "let them eat cake," is often linked to Marie Antoinette, the last Queen of France, as a heartless comment about her starving people. However, there is no solid proof that she ever said this, and it has been widely misunderstood. The phrase first appeared in the 1760s in a book by French philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, when Marie Antoinette was still a child. This makes it unlikely that she said it. Some historians believe that the quote was falsely attributed to her by revolutionaries to make the French monarchy look bad. A common myth about the Salem witch trials of 1692 to 1693 is that those accused of witchcraft were burned at the stake. While burning was common in European witch hunts, it didn't happen in Salem. In fact, none of the accused in Salem were burned. Instead, 19 people convicted of witchcraft were hanged, which was considered a more humane form of execution than burning. This difference between myth and fact shows how important it is to separate false beliefs from reality when looking at history. The story of Benjamin Franklin discovering electricity by flying a kite in a thunderstorm is a well-known part of American folklore. However, many historians and scientists question whether this actually happened. While Franklin made important discoveries about electricity, the details of the kite experiment are debated. Some experts say that if lightning had struck the kite, Franklin would have died. It's more likely that the kite collected small electric charges from the storm, which created a spark when Franklin touched the key on the kite string. A common myth about Napoleon Bonaparte is that he was very short. This idea has been reinforced by many artworks showing him as smaller than others around him. However, historical records show that Napoleon was about 5 feet 6 inches, or 1.68 meters, which was average for men of his time. The confusion likely came from differences between French and British measurement systems. In French measurements, he was recorded as 5 feet 2 inches, but this actually translates to around 5 feet 6.5 inches in modern terms. The image of Vikings wearing helmets with horns or wings is famous, but it's mostly based on myths and not historical facts. Archaeologists haven't found any Viking helmets with horns. In fact, the only Viking helmet ever found, discovered in 1943, was a simple iron helmet without decorations. The idea of horned Viking helmets became popular in the 19th century, especially due to the costume designs for the opera Der Ring des Nibelungen, which helped spread this inaccurate image of the Vikings. The well-known story of Sir Isaac Newton discovering gravity after being hit on the head by a falling apple is a fun tale, but historians doubt its accuracy. Although apples did help Newton think about gravity, the idea that one hit him on the head is probably not true. According to Newton's friend William Stukely, Newton was inspired when he saw an apple fall from a tree and wondered why it fell straight down instead of sideways or upwards. Thomas Edison is known as one of America's greatest inventors, with over 1,000 patents. However, his famous invention, the incandescent light bulb, has sparked debate about who really came up with the idea. Edison didn't invent the first light bulb. As early as 1802, English chemist Humphrey Davy made the first electric lamp, and in 1840, Warren de la Rue created a light bulb using a platinum filament. Edison's true achievement was improving these earlier designs, making a long-lasting and affordable light bulb that could be mass-produced. While he wasn't the first, his work was key in bringing the light bulb to the public.